left to right in a nice line with a lot of trades. And hello everyone, it's Thursday and it's time to talk about some robot trading. We're starting a little bit late today and it wasn't even my fault. Isn't that what losers say? It's not my fault. Well, I'm saying it's not my fault. What do you think of that? Because I was sitting here waiting for GoToMeeting to start this and it would not. But if you're watching this on the recording, you don't even know that. So why did I tell you? I'm Scott and we're going to talk today about the Heron. I just released a short-term day trading robot yesterday. It's a robot. It's discretionary. It's everything. But we're also going to add just a little bit of devil's advocate at the end of this too. But first we're going to talk about the Hornet and some interesting things that you may or may not know. And I assume we're going to get through this quickly. If you want to ask some questions at the end about the Heron or anything else, we're going to take some time out for questions also. All right. And okay, good. All right, here's the website. I'm going to close down my little screen there and we're going to get started. All right, that's my website. Sometimes I refer to it at the beginning of our webinars. I did put up a new fair value page. I offer a fair value course. It is near and dear to me. As I've said many times, it's probably my favorite way to trade. So why do I put all my money on it if it's my favorite way to trade? Well, you can't use big trade sizes. That's really the only drawdown. Oh, play on words, because you also get drawdown, right? The drawdowns can be bigger. They almost can be infinite, right? When you trade without stop losses, things can happen. You get into trouble, and honestly, you don't know if trouble's ever going to end. With fair value, you kind of know when it's going to end because you're trading towards fair value. But anytime you trade without stop losses, it can be scary, and you can be in stuff for a long time. I tried to make this course where it's so darn picky that we don't just get into trades willy-nilly, and people have actually complained, oh, it doesn't trade enough, right? Well, there's a reason for that. We're trying to stay away from the drawdowns that last forever. All right, so there's your 2-second update on the fair value. But there is a fair value page. So you want to talk about it right now? No, we're not going to. We'll do it at the end. Tough noogies. We're going to talk about the Heron. And what's the Heron? It is a day trading system. You may have heard me say that. Now, the big question is, why am I releasing this? Why? You need to know the why behind everything. It makes you trade better, helps you understand what's going on, gives you confidence, and oh, by the way, it makes for trust. I've said on a recent podcast, and I'll talk about that later, but I said on a recent podcast that the most important thing for traders is trust, and I've said it here too. If you don't trust them giving you the system, it's not going to work. Excuse me, okay? So you need to know why I'm doing this, and plus I like to share. Okay. The why is really important, as I mentioned. Here are the reasons I did this. For a long time, I've been doing this, and I didn't know, I couldn't exactly be happy with what I wanted the vehicle to do it with, all right, bottom line. But I've been wanting for a while something so transparent, it's ridiculous. As an up-and-coming trader, the one thing that frustrated me more than anything is someone who may or may not know something about trading, and I assume they did because I was there paying my money, that felt like they weren't telling me the whole story. I've always felt that. Yes, you're making money, but could I really do that? What extra thing, right? You read famous trading books. I've read books about people that I really, really like. And I've looked at the systems that they talk about, and they don't exactly work that way. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever been frustrated by that? I remember Alexander Elder's first book, and I've even recently tried to code one of his old strategies. And gosh darn it, it doesn't work. The book, it works. It doesn't work for me. Why? What extra? What are you holding back? Well, that's bothered me forever. And I wanted to try to make something that you would get everything. Like there is no secret, right? I wanted to be just so transparent. So that's really a huge issue for me. I wanted that to be accomplished. And the Heron, after researching, has been my vehicle, right? I want everyone to be able to follow along, and I want you to have all the information. No secrets, right? That was a huge, humongous thing for me. Think about it if this works, right? How cool would that be? I mean, think about how exciting trading is, and it's so exciting for me. How cool would it be that you go to a seminar or you read a book and it goes exactly the way the person said it would go? I mean, gosh darn it. Oh, that just pumps me up. Right? I spent 22 years in tennis, and I'm being immodest, but almost everything went exactly the way I said it would go. I was very, very proud of that. Maybe if I'm proud of anything, I'm proud of that. If I said a student could achieve this ranking, they did. If I told a college team we're going to win a championship in 3 years, we did, and so forth. I want trading to be the same way because that would be so awesome. So I wanted to talk about something, and then I wanted to see if it would happen. And in a kind of a crappy way, I want everyone to see if it doesn't happen. And I want to know why it didn't happen. And I want everyone to know why, or you won't know the why, but you'll be able to see the how. This isn't working. This system isn't working. And what am I going to do about it? And I can't wait to try to figure out why it didn't work and try to fix it. Like, I'm actually excited about that. Is that crazy? Right? I love having tennis lessons where people are all screwed up. I love that. I love figuring out why stuff isn't working. So a part of me would be absolutely ecstatic if it just works the way the research says it was, right? Obviously, that's great. But I'm actually perfectly excited about figuring out if it doesn't. And I wanted you to be able to follow along with me. Have I said it enough? I want it to be transparent. Furthermore, I want proof. I have so many axes to grind with this trading stuff, right? I want to prove that day trading can be done. I want to prove that robots work, right? There are people say that robots don't work, which is ludicrous, but I want to prove it. And I want to prove you only need one thing at a time. I want to prove you can focus and have it work. That you don't need some complex algorithm. You don't need Portfolio Maestro where you plug in all the different trade sizes of 100 different instruments and you figure out what one thing, robot, right? Or, and again, I use that in quotes. Can you see me doing quotes? When I say robot, this system is tradable discretionarily, and I say it a bunch of times in the course, but you need to trade it like a robot. So when I say robot, I mean, yes, literally a robot, or trade it discretionarily, following the rules 99% of the time, and being a trading systems trader, being a human robot. And then, as I say in the course, possibly even doing better. Could a human do 99% of these rules and do better? How? Well, could they take that target out a few more pips and make more money? Could they cut the loss, right? Instead of getting all the way to a stop loss, could they cut it out 5 pips early? Could a human make those calls and do better? I love robot automated trading, yes, but I would love for someone to do better than me. I say it all the time. So I would love for a human, I would love a human to trade like a robot and have it work better, or I'd love to just trade it automatically and have it work great too, right? So these are my axes, and maybe there are a few more axes I've got buried too. Bury the hatchet, bury the axe, right? But I want proof, and I want it to be public, and I want people to follow along. As I said, yes, this might fail, right? But I'm really excited about doing this out loud in public, right? And I will work my brain off. Ooh, that's kind of weird. I'll work my brain to the bone. That's also weird to make this work. Okay. So if you paid money and you bought the course, understand I fully intend that this will work. If it doesn't, I'm going to be on it like flies on stink to make sure it works right. Okay. A couple other things if you're curious about the Heron, the cost. Initially, I was going to make this an all for one. You just buy the course, add up the robot cost plus the cost of me making the course, and just add it all up, one price, and include the robot. I was going to do it that way, but I didn't. Two big reasons, two monstrous reasons. Not everyone can trade the robot as is, and that's kind of a problem. You need GMT -5 on your server. Who offers GMT -5? Oanda does. That's where I trade, okay? You log into your account and said, what server would you like? And it says GMT -5, and I pick that, and everything works properly. If you have GMT something else, GMT +2, GMT whatever, because the Heron only trades a very specific time of day, only a 5-hour window, how does that window translate to another part of the earth? Well, I've tried to put it in the code. I spent 8 hours on it and couldn't figure it out. Now that I'm coding a little on my own, I'm going to try to figure it out again, but I can't figure it out. You need to trade this window to get the same results. You trade a slightly different window, the results won't be the same. We're trading a very specific time of day with a very specific set of traders who also trade that time of day. So if you have a server that's different than GMT -5, I'm not recommending trading this robot. Trade it discretionarily. But if you do, then you can buy the robot. So I'm going to make a big price. I'm going to make a $500 price tag or whatever. And now you can't even trade the robot? Well, that's not good value, right? Plus, I get discretionary traders who email me, right, who want to trade systems but want to trade discretionarily. I get those emails. So why am I making them pay for a robot they won't use? So you with me? You figure out what I'm doing? I only want you to pay for what you want. So buy the course. That is for discretionary. It's $99 just for discretionary, okay? That's everything you need to be a discretionary trader. You shouldn't need a single else darn thing. But if you want to trade it and you want a robot and you want one already done, then I have one. You want to code it yourself? Fine, do that. More power to you. That sounds great to me, right? So that's why the split prices. $99 for the course, $3.99 for the robot. I did code this one myself. This robot took a fairly long time for me to do. Yeah, he added all the research time, and it's a little bit more expensive than the others because it cost me more time. So that's the reason. So that's where the costs come from. But just curious, just because we're talking here, I mean, what is a good price for these courses, right? Everyone says, well, $1, right? Well, first of all, we're going to do a talk or a blog post on, do you really want stuff for free? I mean, what do you really think? If I gave something away, if I was a trillionaire and I gave this away for free, what would you think? I bet you $1. You'd think, well, this is cheap. This is garbage. Who would give away something good for free, right? I think that, right? But, furthermore, I do want to get paid for my time, right? I don't think, I get paid for the amount of time I've spent. What is it, I get paid like $1 an hour or whatever for a lifetime membership or something like that, $2 an hour. But anyway, so what's a good price? Well, I try to keep it reasonable because I want people to be able to afford it. I don't think those are big prices, but just think about this. If this robot goes the way research says, and it turns 10,000 into 50,000 fairly shortly, or 10,000 into 1.9 million, which I've actually done the fun little research, hypothetical research, right? If it turns 10,000 into 50,000 and you spent 99 plus 399, right? That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? You made 40,000, but you spent 500. I mean, is that a good deal? I mean, my goal is that this provides an income stream into the future with me watching it and correcting it as needed. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, feel free to email me and tell me I'm a jerk, marketer, whatever you want to call me. But I mean, I just feel like, this is a decent price for something that I plan on working and trading myself for a long time. What if you use it as a retirement vehicle, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I might, right? If it makes 10,000 a year for 30 years, like this, if the Heron is my retirement vehicle, and I talk about that in the course, by the way, it makes 10 grand a year for 30 years. I mean, is that worth $500? So again, these prices, a lot of thought went into these prices. I feel like they're fair, but I'm open to all suggestions as long as they're positive and not jerkdom. I'm open to anything that's positive and smart. So feel free to email me. Okay. Here are a few more points I want to make. How this is going to work, right? Well, this is live, right? It's on MyFX book, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I was very, very down on MyFX book, very skeptical, didn't like it. I like it right Right now, I like it. It's doing my results perfectly. I was worried about that.